Hi students, Mr. Murphy back again. So we're doing percent problems backwards now. Before we were doing something like find the percent, convert it to a decimal, so you would have something like 0.08 times whatever number you have equals your percent off or your percent adding or whatever. So we don't know this percent. We know these percents. All right. So we have a wholesaler buys a shirt for $12.40 and marks it up to $31. So we have the $31 and we have the $12.40 times a number. So we're just going to do it that way. So 1240 times a number equals 31. I have to do the opposite, and because it's an equal sign, I have to do the opposite on both sides. So I'm going to divide by $12.40 on both sides here. $12.40. 1240 divided by 1240 is 1, so I have 1x on this side. And then 31 divided by $12.40, I put in my calculator. 31 divided by 12.40 is 2.5. And that sounds like you're going to yourself, what is 2.5? Well, let's multiply by 100 because we're going to convert to a decimal. So that becomes, move this 2 spots over. Oops, 1, 2. That's 250%. What does that mean? That means if I'm a owner of a store, I buy a shirt for $12.40 from my wholesaler. I multiply that by 250% to get my retail price, the price that I sell it to you for. So, and we can see that 31 is more than twice as big as $12.40. So 2.5% or 250% sounds pretty good. Remember when we were solving this the other way, we were saying convert to a decimal, multiply, and that gives you the answer. In this case, we're dividing, converting to a percentage, and that gives us the answer. Method 2 is basically the same thing. So method 1, this gives me the whole percentage. The markup percent is 100% is the original 1240. How much money did I mark it up? Well, that would be 150%, which would be 1240 plus 620, which is 50% of 12, and that would be $18.60. So the amount I marked it up was $18.60. The original amount I had was $12.40 for a total markup price of $31. So this is the original price of the shirt. This is the markup price. This is the price that you buy it at the store. So the same problem, we're going to do it as a proportion. So what are the proportions? Set up a proportion as the markup over the original. So I can do $31 over $12.40 equals, and let's see if we can get this right. So I got 31 over 1240. I want to know the percent this, and that's my 100%. So this is my 1240. That's my 100%. So I want to get this 1240 from the bottom and this 100 from the bottom. So on both sides, I'm going to multiply by 100. And on both sides, I'm going to multiply by 1240. The 1240 cancels out on this side. The 100s cancel out on this side. I have 100 times 31. That's 31 hundreds equals 1240 x. Divide by 1240 on both sides. That would be, make that a little prettier for you. That would be 3100 divided by 1240. Put that in your calculator. 3100 divided by 1240 is 250. So the markup percent is 250%. On it? So the original price was 100%. I marked it up 150%. $31 is 250%. So make sure you know the differences between all of these three. And the original price was $12.40. The markup price is $18.60. And the new price is $31. So make sure you know what all those numbers mean, because remembering what to do and how to do it is the hard part, but remembering what the numbers mean according to the words is easy, because the words are over here. The situation is here. So you just have to put it in context with the situation. There's no method 3 here because we're trying to determine the missing percents. We cannot add or subtract percents if we don't know what they are. Of course, markup is 100% plus whatever percent. So the new price is divided by the original price. So that's working backwards with percentages, adding and subtracting percentages. We're going to move on to the next part, which is simple interest. If you can't get this working backwards, it's something you want to work towards, but if you can't always get it 100%, those are the A problems. If you want to get an A, you should know how to do this. If you want to get a B or a C, you should just do it the old-fashioned ways, finding the percent increase or decrease. You don't necessarily have to work backwards. So one of the other problems we want to learn about is doing simple interest. It's very similar to markup problems, but it's over a period of time. So first you find the interest of the original amount, then you multiply by the time. So my original amount is $500, and I put that into a savings account where I get 3% interest each month. How much interest will I earn over 1 year? How much will I have in my savings after 1 year? So those are two big problems, and they're going to come up a lot. So I start with my original price of $500, and I'm going to multiply that times my percent, which is 0.03. So 5 times 3 is 15. 0 with 2 decimal points. So $1,515. So 3% of $500 is $15. Every month I make $15. How much interest will I earn over 1 year? So that's $15 times how many months in a year? times 12. And 12 times 15 is $180. So over 1 year, over 1 month, I make $15. Over 1 year, I make $180. How much will I have in my savings after 1 year? Well, if I started with $500 and I make $180 over the whole year, I will have $680 in my savings account after 1 year. About. Because actually the first month I'll have $515. And then if you multiply that by 0.03, you get a little bit more than $15. So you're adding a little couple extra pennies every month, but that's going to be something you're going to learn more about later in 7th grade or maybe in 8th grade. That's simple interest. It's really, really easy. The formula is interest equals the principal times rate times time. And the principal is the first money you put in, the interest is the rate, and the time is whatever amount of time they talk about. And this works for interest when you're adding up, and it works for loans and all that other stuff. So your loan might say something, if I borrowed $2,000 at 12% interest per year for 5 years, how much would I have? And you just say $2,000 times 12%, which is 0.12, times 5 years. And just put it in your calculator, it gives you the answer. But be very careful, because as you become more of an expert, the questions will get harder, and they won't ask just the interests. They'll ask funny things like, how much will I have in my savings after 1 year? So they'll have you add the interest plus the original amount. Percent increase or decrease. So we're talking about how much something increases or decreases in percentage terms. So we're actually starting with numbers and figuring out a percent. It is really easy. So yesterday the phone I wanted to buy was $674. Today it's on sale for $574. What is the percent decrease in price? Because it went down. So I'm just going to say $574 minus $674 over $674. Now really you can subtract any way you want. So 574 minus 674 is going to be 100. 674 is the big number, so it's a negative 100 divided by 674. So I put that in my calculator. $100 divided by 674 is about 0.14. Well, I don't want a decimal point, so I'm going to convert to a percent, move this 2 spots over. So it's a 14% decrease. Decrease. C-R-E-A-S-E. We're almost out of time. So I'm going to review this next time and then go on to the last 2 parts in the next video.